Defining gender recognition, one of the central themes of Trump's campaign was his promise to restore what he called sanity to America. True to his word, one of his first acts upon returning to the White House in 2025 was to sign an executive order simplifying gender recognition. In Trump's view, gender is straightforward. You're either male or female. No third options, no multiple-choice scenarios, just two boxes to check. This order eliminates any recognition of non-binary or transgender identities in federal documents and programs. Trump argues that this move cuts through unnecessary bureaucracy, creating what he calls the most streamlined government form you've ever seen. However, critics see it as an attempt to erase the identities of millions of people, potentially undermining protections for transgender and non-binary individuals under anti-discrimination laws. The order also dismantles diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI programs tied to gender identity. Trump's reasoning? If there are only two genders, there's no need to accommodate others. Critics compare this to cleaning a room by shoving everything under the bed. It might look tidy at first, but the mess remains. Mass deportations. Shortly after his inauguration, Trump signed an executive order intensifying the deportation of undocumented immigrants in the U.S. The order empowers immigration officers to detain and remove undocumented individuals, with a particular focus on sanctuary cities, localities that have resisted cooperating with federal immigration enforcement. Trump has long argued that sanctuary cities undermine national security, and this order targets them directly. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE agents, are using advanced tools like drones and data analytics to locate and apprehend undocumented immigrants. Imagine being chased out of a grocery store by a drone that looks like an angry toy helicopter. This is the reality under Trump's policy. The order also reduces legal protections for undocumented immigrants, making it harder for them to contest deportations in court. The human cost is staggering. Families are being torn apart, with parents deported while their U.S.-born children, who are citizens by birthright, are left behind. Critics describe the policy as heartless and a violation of human rights, while supporters argue it's necessary to uphold the law. Release of JFK assassination files. In January 2025, Trump made headlines by declassifying the long secret files related to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. For decades, these documents were kept under wraps, with the government citing national security concerns. But Trump decided it was time to rip off the Band-Aid and let the public see the truth. Speculation about the files has run wild for years, with theories ranging from CIA involvement to elaborate conspiracies. Trump's move was like dropping the ultimate true crime documentary, except it was real life. While some celebrated the transparency, others worried about the potential fallout, including diplomatic tensions or the exposure of sensitive intelligence operations. Promotion of cryptocurrencies. In 2025, Trump threw his weight behind cryptocurrencies, declaring them the future of American finance. His executive order didn't aim to replace the US dollar, but to boost blockchain infrastructure and make it easier for companies to enter the crypto space. Think of it as building a high-speed highway for digital currencies to thrive. The order also hinted at the possibility of a US digital currency and included regulations to protect investors from risky ventures, like betting your retirement savings on Dogecoin. While the move could position the US as a global leader in cryptocurrency, it also raises questions about financial stability and oversight. Withdrawal from the Paris Agreement. Trump reaffirmed his commitment to pulling the U.S. out of the Paris Agreement, an international pact aimed at combating climate change. He argued that the agreement was unfair to the U.S., costing American jobs in industries like coal and oil, while allowing countries like China and India to pollute freely. Critics warned that withdrawing from the agreement would undermine global efforts to limit global warming and damage the U.S.'s reputation as a leader in environmental policy. Supporters, however, cheered the move as a win for American jobs and economic independence. Energy Emergency Declaration. Trump declared a national energy emergency, aiming to supercharge domestic energy production. The order greenlights fracking, drilling, and mining on federal lands, removing restrictions and speeding up permit approvals. Trump framed this as a step toward energy independence, reducing reliance on foreign fuel sources. However, Environmentalists raised alarms about the potential consequences, including water pollution, earthquakes, and even flammable tap water. Despite these concerns, Trump touted the order as a win for the economy, promising job creation in the energy sector. Withdrawal from the World Health Organization, WHO. Trump severed ties with the WHO, accusing the organization of being too cozy with China and mishandling the COVID-19 pandemic. He argued that the U.S., as the WHO's largest funder, wasn't getting its money's worth. Critics warned that leaving the WHO would weaken global health initiatives, particularly in fighting diseases like malaria and tuberculosis, and hinder efforts to prepare for future pandemics. Supporters, however, saw it as a necessary step to hold the organization accountable. Ending birthright citizenship. Just imagine you're at a fancy dinner enjoying the finest meal of your life when suddenly someone bursts in, eats a bite of your steak, and declares they belong to your table now. Confused? Well, that's kind of how some folks see birthright citizenship. People being born in a country and automatically gaining citizenship, no questions asked. Well, in January 2025, President Trump decided no more free lunch, or in this case, free citizenship. He signed an executive order attempting to end birthright citizenship, which means babies born in the U.S. to undocumented immigrants or certain non-citizens wouldn't automatically get citizenship anymore. This rule comes from the 14th Amendment, adopted after the Civil War to ensure all people born in the U.S., especially former enslaved individuals, had equal rights. For years, the rule has been straightforward. Born here, you're in. No need for an application, interview, or a DNA test to prove Uncle Sam is your great-grandpa. But now, Trump's executive order claims that only children born to U.S. citizens or certain lawful residents should get citizenship. His argument is that the current system encouraged birth tourism, where people visit the U.S. just to have their baby born as a citizen, and incentivized undocumented immigration. However, the Constitution doesn't exactly leave room for debate because the 14th Amendment clearly states all persons born or naturalized in the U.S. are citizens. Well, Trump and the government have been at a standstill because ending birthright citizen isn't just a small tweak. It's like telling a burger it can't have buns anymore. The ripple effects would be huge and devastating. Advancement of artificial intelligence, AI. Trump's executive order on AI aimed to establish the U.S. as the global leader in artificial intelligence. The order poured funding into AI research and development, partnering with tech giants to build advanced algorithms and supercomputers. While the initiative promised innovation and job creation, it also raised ethical concerns about surveillance, job displacement, and the potential misuse of AI technologies. National emergency at the southern border. Let's start with the basics. A national emergency is like a big flashy in case of emergency, break glass button for presidents. It lets them tap into special powers to deal with crises that they think need immediate attention. Think of it as a cheat code for skipping Congress when time's ticking, or when you just really don't want to deal with that guy from the opposing party. Trump declared this emergency to focus on what he called a border crisis, saying America needed stronger defenses to stop illegal immigration, drug trafficking, and other threats. Basically, he claimed that the border was a chaotic free-for-all Black Friday, and his plan to stop this free pass was simple: build a border wall, or as he likes to call it, the Rolls-Royce of walls. But there was a catch. Congress, aka the nation's wallet, wasn't handing him the cash. So what does any determined real estate mogul turned president do? He dipped into military funds instead. That's where the national emergency powers came in handy. By declaring an emergency, Trump could redirect billions of dollars from military construction projects to wall building. Well, critics obviously argued that building a border wall was really not an emergency, as the data showed that border crossings had actually been declining in recent years. Many also argued that Trump's move to repurpose military funds violates the Constitution. However, Trump has doubled down on the emergency order and declared that the border crisis has escalated and that more funds were needed. Repealing Obamacare. Trump signed an executive order to replace the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, with a new system called America First Healthcare. The order eliminated penalties for not having health insurance and gave states more control over healthcare policies. Critics warned that this would strip healthcare coverage from millions of Americans, particularly those with pre-existing conditions. while supporters applauded the move as a step toward reducing government overreach. Extension for TikTok compliance. The app that turned dance challenges and lip-syncing into global phenomena has been under the U.S. government's microscope for a while, and their concern was that its parent company, ByteDance, is based in China, leading to worries about data privacy and national security. Think of it as inviting someone to your party, but being unsure if they're secretly reporting back to a rival party planner. So in 2020, the U.S. government, under President Trump, issued an executive order aiming to ban TikTok unless it sold its U.S. operations to an American company. Now fast forward to January 2025. The ban was set to take effect, and TikTok even briefly stopped working for U.S. users, causing a digital uproar. Imagine the horror. No more cat videos or viral dance challenges. But then, in a move that surprised many, President Trump signed an executive order granting TikTok a 75-day extension to comply with U.S. ownership laws. It's like the DJ getting a temporary pass to keep the party going while sorting out their playlists. Now, you might be wondering why the sudden change of heart. Apparently, numerous wealthy individuals had expressed interest in TikTok, and Trump even floated the idea of a joint venture between the U.S. and ByteDance. People like Elon Musk, Mr. Beast, and Kevin O'Leary have all proposed a significant cash bid they believe ByteDance can't refuse. For now, the 75-day extension is a temporary reprieve that's giving TikTok time to negotiate a deal that satisfies U.S. regulatory concerns. If successful, TikTok could continue operating in the U.S. under new ownership or a restructured agreement. If not, the app might face another ban, leaving millions practicing their dance moves offline.